everyone. I'm Major General Jerry Grizzle. I'm the President and Superintendent of New Mexico Military Institute. I want to welcome everyone for being here this evening. We're going to try our best to answer a lot of questions you might have as you get ready to bring your son or daughter, grandson, granddaughter, your relative to NMMI to start the school year. So what I'd like to ask you to do is listen first. We've done this a number of times. We have anticipated a lot of questions, or they're the questions that we receive frequently. So we'll try to cover all of those in all of our functional areas. Again, I would ask that you listen first, take notes, and if we don't cover something, then please feel free to jump on the chat saying, send us a question and we'll get an answer for you. So first, I'd like to introduce who's going to help me with this evening's broadcast and answer these questions for you. First is our Chief of Staff, Colonel David West. The Chief of Staff is the guy that keeps this group functioning and collectively looking for all the problems and then go out and solve them. Next is the Commandant of Cadets, Colonel Thomas Tate. The Commandant of Cadets in civilian terms would be like the Dean of Students. He's primarily responsible for everything that happens outside of the classroom. And then next is the Dean of Academics, Colonel Orlando Griego. He's responsible for everything inside the classroom, their education inside the classroom. Next is our athletic director, Colonel Jose Barone. Jose takes care of them also outside the classroom when they're not under the control of the commandant. So the three of them work together. They all want more time. I get to be the referee as to who gets the most time, but they work very well together to do the three things we believe are important at NMMI, and that's leadership, athletics, and academics. We believe the three synergistically work together to provide this fantastic education for you. The last person I'd like to introduce, and many of you who have met, is Lieutenant Colonel Christina Stark. She is our International Director, Global Enrollment and Marketing Director. Christina's going to start out with some questions or maybe some reminders of documents and things that you've received that she needs you to be sure and bring with you when you show up. Christina?
Well, good evening. So by now you should all have received the parents pack from your admissions counselor. So this contains important information. So with all the information that you need to know, what to bring, what not to bring. Also, please make sure you have completed your NMMI medical forms, you've submitted your official transcript, and bring all your documents with you. So we look forward to welcome you in person very soon.
Thank you, Christina. Christina will be available for other comments as we go on through the evening if you need her. I'd like to put up a slide we have that shows important dates that'll be coming up here shortly. So the first one I'd like to point out is if you are a high school freshman or sophomore, if you're coming to be a domestic high school freshman or sophomore, you will report, there is an online orientation that you need to attend on July 24th. If you're a high school junior or senior, again, there is an online orientation on July 25th. And then all junior college, domestic, on July 26th. So again, July 24th, high school freshmen and sophomores, July 25th, juniors and seniors, and the 26th, junior college for all domestic. Now, for our international students, there will be an in-person orientation on July 31st and August 1st here in Roswell. Those are key dates we want you to remember. Again, contact us if you have any question about those. The first three are online. You can go on nmmi.edu and you'll find the information on how to log on for those online orientation. The next key dates for everyone are the actual matriculation dates. August 2nd, all junior college will matriculate on those days. Most junior college students do not bring a parent with them. They're 18 or older, so they self-matriculate, we refer to it as, and that will take place on the 2nd of August. And then our high school students on the 3rd of August. All of the high school students need a parent to sign the forms that they need to sign, the business office, our infirmary, which you'll hear more about that as we go on this evening. So those are two important dates. The other one is the evening of 2 August. We do a parent orientation. This is just to try to orient you to what's going to happen now and for about the first 3 to 4 weeks that your cadet will be here. The commandant and the dean will have an activity that you need to attend the next day where they will orient you to life in the classroom and life outside the classroom. It's very important that the parents attend that, and that'll be conducted on the 3rd of August. So again, I appreciate that you look at these dates. They're posted up on our website for you to refer to, and you can continue to go back and forth to look at those. So again, thank you for this evening. We want to continue trying to answer these questions. I see a lot that are out in the chat room already, and our people are answering those for you. So again, please post them, or hopefully we'll cover them as we go on through with the evening. Now I'd like to go to life outside the classroom first, Commandant, and he will talk about things that the cadets and the families have. There are quite a few here. These are questions that we believe are important for you. I'll read them and then he'll try to address them individually. First, a lot of families ask about creature comforts. What can the cadets bring from home that they can use, they can have in their rooms, etc. So he will tell you all about that. What can a cadet expect in the Rat Week? And we'll talk about Rat Week. That's the period from the time you leave them until essentially classes start and the dean takes over. And he'll talk about that. Then what is our electronics policy? What can they bring? Cell phones, yes. Tablets, yes. We will issue every cadet a laptop, but the commandant will go over all these things. Colonel Tate?
Hey, General, thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. A lot of information. There'll be a lot of questions. We'll do everything we can to get them answered here tonight, but also at matriculation and then throughout the first few days. First question the General talked about was creature comforts and from home. And first of all cadets need to bring a pillow. Okay, please bring a pillow. And a lot of cadets prefer, especially at the high school level, they prefer to bring maybe a favorite blanket or whatever. That blanket is wrapped up and stowed away during the day, but you can pull it out and use it in the evening. Some other things that kind of caught us by surprise at times is like personal hygiene items. You only need to bring enough personal hygiene items for a max of 30 days. We have a cadet store here. We have a drugstore, Walgreens, right across the street, those types of things. So, you know, you're going to be coming in here. People are going to be excited, and people are going to be really focused, a little intense. So don't worry about too much about that. Civilian clothing, just keep that in accordance with the packing list. You really aren't going to need that for a few weeks. The rooms are pretty much 8 by 10. And we found that a broom, a good hard bristle broom or a vacuum cleaner, a small, inexpensive, economical type of cleaner works really well on these carpets. We'll talk a little bit more about electronics and things like that, but headphones in a room that's really nice to have. You're not interfering with your roommate, that type of thing. Cleaning supplies in your room. You'll have a mirror, you'll have a lavatory, that type of thing, and you'll be responsible for cleaning your half of the room. And hopefully your cadet and their roommate will be working together on that. Food, non-perishable items, but just for a few days, please. And once you open up something that is, open up, then we need to go ahead and consume it or be able to seal it. And cadets will have the opportunity to visit the cadet store and that type of thing. No game. We'll get into electronics, but let me emphasize: no gaming systems for the first semester on campus, please. No gaming systems. You just really won't have time for the systems, and the cadets will just be too busy. Finally, please don't bring appliances such as air fryers or coffee pots, sandwich presses, etc. Those types of things. You just won't be able, if you bring them, we're going to just have to lock them up, secure them, send them back home with you. And also it's been a safety issue in the past. So those things there. What can a cadet expect in their rat week, and that's recruits at training. And what does being a rat at NIMI mean? And I think, here's the thing. The schedule will be demanding, but it will be rewarding. Okay. And the day will begin at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it'll end about 2200 or 10 p.m. And the cadets at this time, they're going to learn about the culture and lifestyle of the Institute, how to wear their uniforms, customs, courtesies, expectations for success specific to academic achievement, character development, and overall wellness and physical fitness. They will participate in physical fitness. They'll participate in team building type of activities. So there will be some experiential learning outside the classroom. Be a lot of hands-on type of activities throughout the days to make this transition and adjust. And speaking to members right here on my staff, they go, I ratted with this person or I ratted with that person. Cadets are going to make lifelong friends here as they go through this process. And it's a very, very unique experience. And if they come here and are willing to accept, and tune in, they should have a great experience. And finally, we have a cadet cadre coming in on the 21st of July to prepare. And throughout this experience, I think it's important for parents, friends, etc., understand, especially in military school, throughout the experience, staff, the cadet cadre, and all affiliated with the Institute will demonstrate mutual respect, and are expected to model the values of the Institute: duty, honor, achievement, and exercise and model mutual respect at all times. This lineage of just screaming and kicking and hollering, if there's any of it, I sure want to know about it, because we want to hold people accountable, responsible, but we want everybody to come in here and have a good time, and really have a good time. So I'm looking forward to it. Most cadets do really well with this. They adjust within a couple days and off they go. What's the electronics policy overall and during rat week? And of course, you're going to get 100 questions on electronics and et cetera, et cetera. It's the culture we're in. And everybody's obviously very interested and concerned, parents as well as cadets. And so cadets are authorized cell phones, iPads, tablets, etc. The general mentioned they'll be issued computers, and they'll get their computers set up when they come in during rat week. Cell phone usage is permitted inside a cadet's room. And during rat week, what we've done is from about 9:30 to 10 o'clock at night is when we're going to ask parents and friends to call. Okay, there's really not a lot of time during the day. The days will be long, and some of them here will be, very, very warm and taxing. So from that 9:30 to 10, anytime, of course, there's an emergency or a real concern, of course, you can notify us, but that's where we're at. So that's what we're going to ask as far as cell phone usage, that type of thing. And use of earbuds, earbuds, once again, in the classroom, and then, or not in the classroom, please, but in the barracks, and then in support of athletic conditioning is authorized when conducting individual training. And we'll get some more specifics on that, but we can definitely do that. And then once again, I just ask that everybody exercise discipline with their electronics. And most of all, of equal or greater importance is, they're coming to school, and please, emphasize responsibility and accountability with social media. That's absolutely huge. So that's a quick overview, but yes, they can have cell phones. They'll have access to their phones, and we ask you to support us with this communications policy. And with that, General, I think I'll turn it back over to you, sir.
Thanks, Colonel Tate, and great answer. Again, let me reiterate to the parents, yes, we realize communication is important. Also, we have a couple of systems I want to throw in here just for your comfort, I hope. We have what we refer to, or the name of it is a LYNX, L-Y-N-X system. Most of the cell phones can be hooked to the LYNX system, and it's an alert and notification system. not only for bad weather, if we need to take shelter, but if we have an emergency situation that we need to be accountable for all of our cadets. And that's another reason we allow the cell phones, so that they can be plugged into the Lynx system. It's a very effective way to notify our cadets that we need to do something immediate, whether it's take cover or get accountability on all of our cadets. And we have that capability here. So let me switch gears just a minute. We'll stay outside the classroom right now with our athletic director. We're very proud of our athletics. We have a broad athletic program, both men's and women's, high school and junior college, approximately 23, 24 sports. At the college level, we're national champions. At the high school level, we're state champions. We have All-Americans. We have All-State. We're extremely proud of our athletic programs. And the athletic director, Jose Barron, will explain a lot of things about it. And one thing I'm missing on some of those report dates is some of the athletes, particularly the junior college ones, have a separate report date. And that would include the RATs, the new cadets as well, if they're part of those teams. So Jose, please go into all of those situations as well as a good explanation of our athletic programs.
Thank you, General Grizzle. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here with us tonight. So as General Grizzle mentioned, there are separate arrival dates for college athletes and some high school athletes. Here is the most important thing for our college athletes. By now, you should have been in contact with your coach or position coach, head coach, or somebody within that organization. They will give you the final actual date. The date could be the 27th or 28th. But if your coach has told you a different date, that's what you go with. If you have any questions, I urge you to contact your coach directly and finalize it to make sure. It has to do with transportation from outside of NMMI, bringing some cadets in, and those that are bringing themselves or coming in on their own. So again, whatever your coach has told you for the college athletes, that's the most important thing. At the high school level, our high school football team is authorized to arrive on the 28th. And again, you probably received information from now. If not, again, you can send me an email or an email to the head coach, Coach O'Mara, and they will give you more information. But the high school football team, again, is allowed early arrival on the 29th. It is not mandatory for new cadets. It's certainly encouraged. And I would, again, if you have questions about that, we can certainly provide you a more specific time or date. But again, high school can arrive early. College, stick to exactly what your coach has told you. And if they have not, then please contact them or contact my office and we'll put you in contact. General Grizzle asked for a couple of other bits of information. Number one, make sure that any paperwork that has gone out from either the medical staff or from the coaching staff is filled out and brought to matriculation unless they've asked for it. There is a specific email address that the medical paperwork goes to. Send it to that address and that address only. Please, if you're bringing your high school student, bring a copy with you just to make sure that we have everything we need on our side. We will have we'll have personnel here available to help with those forms on matriculation days. The other thing that we get a lot of questions on is what do the cadets need to bring? So basically, if you're on one of our sports teams, the majority or really all of the essential equipment is provided to you by the team. The only exception being footwear. So you bring appropriate footwear for the sport you're trying to play. We ask that you stick to our school colors, being red, black, white, and gray is acceptable, just to make sure you blend in with the uniforms properly. We are an Under Armour school and encourage you to bring those kind of accessories if you choose to wear them. Shortly before the start of the school year, we will be sending out a link to our authorized Under Armour peripherals vendor, which is BSN Sports, and you can actually procure more of the non-essential peripheral or decorative items that you might want. But we will provide all of the essential gear. With football, for example, your pads, helmets, all the uniforms, all the undergear, and that kind of stuff we will provide. If there's a question, again, feel free to email me and or the coach of whichever sport you're going to be joining. The other thing that's very important is, again, make sure that if you filled out the documentation, you keep a copy of it, and always make sure that both the parent and the cadet is signed. Multiple forms require signatures from both. Obviously, once the cadet is here, we can track them down and get them to sign off on things, but very important to check on that. Our website, nmmiathletics.com, which you can also hit from the main NMMI website, has all this information in a packet for new cadets and, of course, for returning cadets. Sir, I think that's enough information for now until we get further. Any other questions? Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Jose. Looking at the comments out here, let me kind of get off script just a minute. I see a welcome and a greetings from some of our friends in Brazil. I want to talk to that specifically to the parents. It's something we're very proud of. Last year, we had 34 foreign countries represented in the Corps of Cadets and 40 U.S. states. The diversity here is something you'll just simply not find anywhere else. It's a cultural diversity and the exposure to those cultural diversities that you would never find anywhere else. It's more so than just having those states, countries represented. We're in an environment where these young people eat, sleep, live, march side by side 24/7. And as the Commandant mentioned earlier, they will make lifelong friends in this truly global society that we live in today, that they will reach out and touch as they go through life, whether it be to enhance their business, friends, travel, vacation, etc. It's such a culture here that we're so proud of, and so glad that I see some of our friends from Brazil on the call this evening. Let's go on now to finally the classroom. That's what we do primarily here at NMMI. We are here to provide, again, what we provide or believe is a world-class education. Brag again a little bit. This past year, we had 8 students simultaneously graduate from high school and junior college at the same time. That's something we can do here because we are domiciled. We do not use AP or honors classes at the high school level. If you're that gifted, we put you in college, 4 credit classes. Parents, think about that. You can save 2 years of cost if they can graduate simultaneously from high school and junior college at the same time. So we offer an incredible opportunity here for our students. Our high school STEM team took 4th place in the world international competition this past year. They've won the state competition, the governor's personal state competition, 4 years in a row. This will come just a minute. Colonel West will talk about some of our clubs and our activities that we offer to our young people. So education is primary. It's what we do. High school ACT scores above the national average, above the state average. Now, I could go on and on, but the guy that's responsible for all that is Colonel Grego. Orlando, would you please talk to us about academics at NMMI?
Thank you, General Grizzle. Be happy to do that, and welcome everybody to to this particular viewing. Academics is the best way to describe our academics is relevant and rigorous. We focus a lot on being as relevant as possible, getting people into either college. This is a college prep school, but we can also have programs here that get them into the world of work, into the military, early commissioning programs, ROTC programs, as an example, or we can get them into some kind of technology. We have an agreement with Eastern New Mexico University at Roswell if somebody wants to learn like aviation maintenance as an example. So those exist. One of the other things that we do here is we have a terrific support system. Our Student Advising Center does an absolutely great job of getting these cadets in the right classes, in the right place, so to ensure that they graduate on time. And they're constantly working. Even if a cadet will bomb a class, they have figured out ways they can get you back into the fold. And with that said, our faculty do amazing work in terms of helping out. They do work right before school starts. They have early tutoring. You can start at 7:15 and before classes will start around 8:10 or 8:15. There's an early warning system. I encourage all of the parents to sign up for that. It allows you to monitor the kids to see how they're doing, if they're missing any classes, if their grades are dropping. This is important for us as well, that you do something like that. And the results have been terrific. We also have the Tolles Learning Center. They have a great support system, night study hall, mandatory night study hall, tutor.com that we can use. We actually have tutoring during the day, before and after. So there's a tons of support for our students and our cadets here to get any kind of help they need at the math level, at the science level, at English, and these courses are rather difficult. When I talk about rigorous, let me give you an example of what I mean. Our math program alone, 30 questions a night. That's a lot of questions. Now, can they work together with others? Sure, they can, but it's still a lot of work. And then when they take their test on Friday, and they take a test almost every single week, there's no calculator. And so they have to be on top of their game. But as they go through this whole process, the results have been absolutely amazing here at NMMI. Our SATs average in the last 10 years, 9% above the national average. Same with our ACT scores as well. And the general alluded to the fact that we're actually, one of the top schools. In fact, Niche Magazine rated us the #1 community college in the state, and we're in the top 10 of high schools. The #1 high school in Chaves County is another example. So we do terrific work. Our students then, because there's so much dedication, discipline, time management that they learn, as well as the academics, they go on to terrific schools here. Obviously, all the academies, Texas Tech, New Mexico Tech, Colorado School of Mines, the Citadel, Harvard, Yale, Syracuse, Brown, it goes on and on and on. And so we're very proud of the fact that we put a lot of focus on that. And one of the reasons we put so much focus is our faculty are excellent teachers. I've written 4 books on statistics, so I monitor every number that I can imagine. Our faculty average 4.5 out of 5 on their course evaluations. This is about 20% higher than most of the average of the state as well. So you get very good teachers teaching at a very high level. And that's one of the reasons our faculty like to say that we take B students and turn them into A students. And even if they're a C student, we're going to turn them into a B student or higher. That's sort of what we tend to do. So this is a terrific program. Our faculty, 95%, you know all this stuff already, read some of this stuff, 95% have either a master's or doctorate. I've been in academia for about 31 years now. And I don't say this lightly. I've only been here 2 years, but this is probably one of the best schools and best faculty that I have come to know. And the numbers prove it as well. So with that said, we do have a wonderful programs, not only just our high school degree where they do well. We have Associate of Arts and Associate of Science and 18 concentrations that they can pick from as well. And one of the wonderful things about being a high school and a college is our students, as the general alluded to, can take college classes. So even if they don't get an associate's degree, they can take a number of classes that's going to help them and also save you money along the way as they go through that. And at the end of it all, they're going to have a wonderful and great education. So I'll turn that back to you, General.
Thank you, Orlando. And again, I could go on. And I want to say a few other things to the parents, particularly take advantage of all of these things that we have available. The early warning system, Canvas. These are programs or apps, actually, some of them on your phone, that you can stay in touch with your students' performance. You can see, as Orlando said, if they have not turned in last night's homework. You can see if what their actual grades are through Canvas. These are tools for you. And when we're talking to parents, I get so frustrated when they are frustrated and they're seeking help for their student. And I start asking them these questions. Are you on Canvas? Do you use the early warning system? And they're not. So please let us help you. Let us show you during these orientation periods how to access all the things that are available. We want and need your involvement just because you're not here. We use technology. We are in this global society. Use the internet to stay in touch with your students' performance. It's all there available. And the thing we tell them is don't be afraid to ask a question. Everything here is orchestrated for their support, for their success. But if they don't raise their hand and tell us that they're struggling, we simply don't know. So we encourage them not to be embarrassed, to raise their hand and say, I need help. So please encourage your students when you drop them off and leave them to take advantage of everything this institution represents, and we will help them be successful. That's what our jobs are. If we're not successful, you won't come and others won't come. And it's simple customer service. Without customers, we don't have a job, and you're the customer. So thank you for that. And thank you for making your decision to come to NMMI. Let me jump on. I mentioned David West, Colonel West, the Chief of Staff. He has a wide variety of responsibilities, but one of the things that he took the time to do was to personally sponsor one of our clubs and had a very great success. He has an interest in aviation, and he sponsored the Aviation Club this year. So we asked him to talk not only about the Aviation Club, but about all the opportunities that the cadets will have to broaden their horizons, if you will, if there's something of interest. And we have over 50 clubs that will allow them to expand their interest, whether it's chess club, paintball club, aviation club, on and on and on. So David, please expand on the club options for the cadets.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I was supposed to say bon tarde, buenas tardes, and good evening. So many different troops here, and I see the people out there talking from Brazil as well. So welcome. I want to welcome everybody. Sir, to your mention about the cadet activities, well over 50 of those listed. And just to make a point to the parents and to the potential cadets, you can certainly choose those. If there's a group of you that want to do something else, we'll work to support you on that as well. The foundation, others support us, the Institute, with funds for those. As the general mentioned, my particular group is the aviation. We have flight simulators here at the post. We have flight simulators locally here in town that are even more advanced than ours. We have certified flight instructors that if you so choose to follow up on your private pilot's license and fly an airplane, we can get that done for you out here locally. And here's how it all wraps in. So the point is you take your classes, and let's say you're engineering centric, and you really like to go fly. You've worked on some ground school here and your activity for flying, and then we have an articulation agreement with Embry-Riddle, and number two supplier of pilots in the industry outside of the military. They have a facility in Arizona and one in Florida. So that's just where these kind of things can take you. But if you have an interest in scuba diving, if you have an interest in a cultural group, any sort of those areas and elements, certainly that we can support you. And this year, we're glad we're going to involve a professional dance group as well that have been involved with national champions here in Roswell. So we're certainly glad to have that. I see it's listed, Cadet Activity Fair, scheduled for the 22nd of August at 15:30. And of course, you'll see it at 3:30 when cadets sign up for the clubs. One caution, we're going to limit the cadets to a certain number of clubs. This is not Club Central. Parents aren't paying for you just to come join clubs. But these are things I think that you can follow up on with your interest and do extremely well with. Sir, with that, I can answer in the clubs. And to the dean's point, we all are involved in your student success here. I also do tutoring. I'm an engineer, so that's the flight part, but do tutoring for math at nights. And so we're very interested in your students' success here, not their failure. We're certainly interested in seeing them succeed and do great and wonderful things. Sir?
Thank you, David. And as David said, we're all involved. My wife taught high school science for 15 years, and she tutors in the evening if someone needs help in the high school science area. One of the things I wanted to bring up, it's on my sheet to talk about, was our church services. We have a chapel here on our post, and we have a Catholic and a Protestant service every Sunday. We have a chaplain on our staff who acts also as one of our guidance counselors. We also have relationships with literally every church or religion here in town, and they will provide transportation for our cadets to attend services at their house of worship here in town. So pretty much almost any religion will be able to provide church options for here at NMMI and within the city of Roswell. I'm going to go back to Colonel Tate. We've talked before about his role outside the classroom. One of the things here, every cadet will have at least two one-on-one adult counselors, one academic and one leadership. And in the leadership area, we refer to them, you'll hear the military reduces everything to an acronym. So we talk about TLAs and SLAs. A TLA is a troop leadership advisor. That's someone over about 60 to 80 young people in the military. If any military people on the call, they would be kind of like a first sergeant. They're responsible for their total well-being. Get them up, get them dressed, get them to class, make sure everything's okay in their world. The other is the Squadron Leadership Advisor, an SLA. They're over multiple troops. So they're over 300 or 400 people, and they work through the TLAs. But every cadet will have a one-on-one TLA assigned to them and a one-on-one academic advisor. So Colonel Tate, would you expand more on your structure in your area, the TLAs, the SLAs, and how parents can have access to them for questions?
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, General. And that's a very good synopsis there with overview of the role of the TLA. But the TLAs, as General talked about, 60 to 80. The SLAs pretty much are responsible for four TLAs, and then they work up through our deputies. And to make all this work and run smoothly, we have a deputy commandant for support, which is with me here tonight, Colonel Hogby, who's answering some of your questions. Deals with anything from dining to laundry to housing, you name it. Those types of support activities. And we have a deputy commandant for training and service. And when I talk about service, I'm talking about community engagement, community service, and that type of thing. And then we have a deputy commandant for operations, and he works with me closely on the day-to-day activities that occur here on campus. I think the biggest thing with the TLA is that, especially at the high school level, is that the TLAs work closely with the cadet leadership and work through try to work when possible, try to work through the cadet chain of command. But your cadet also has a direct line to the TLA at any time. And it's really important to know that they are available. The TLAs are available for cadets to assist and work. And I will tell you, some of their duties is they have is they really track the work and the growth of the cadets, and they're involved in inspections, and they're involved in academic progress, and they're very involved with character development and leadership, and in our character and leadership development program. The General talked about us working together each Monday. Our TLAs, our SLAs meet with the student assistance team, and we look at those cadets who are really maybe struggling academically, and what we can do and how we can come together using the early warning system, those types of things, to come together and support the cadet that may be struggling. And also, I urge the TLAs too, especially the first week or so. You should be getting an email from the TLA saying, "I'm so and so. I'm your son or daughter's TLA," and this is probably the most important thing I'm going to say here, that I believe is that's the start, if not sooner, of a partnership. Okay, this needs to be a partnership between the parents and the TLAs and everyone else on staff. So the more, you need to give your cadet obviously the opportunity to grow and to learn, but also that partnership and that linkage. So if you've got a question, you've got an issue, contact the TLA. And they should respond. If they haven't responded to you within 24 hours, then you probably should contact myself or the deputy commandant or the SLA. And all that information will be put out to you once your son or daughter is assigned to a troop. But the big thing there is it's a partnership. It's truly a partnership, at least at the high school level. And overall, we've had great success and working with parents. Sir?
Thanks, Colonel Tate. And I want to go back again to something I said. Parents, this is why it's really important, particularly to the high school parents, that the day after the parent orientation, you attend the dean and the commandant's workshop, and they will go in depth over these issues. They will tell you what troop your son or daughter is assigned to. They will tell you the troop leader's name, cell phone number, email address. The same with the dean. He will tell them who the counselor they're assigned to, how to get in touch with them. It's just very, very important that that day that you attend those workshops. And we're going to plan it. I'll tell you up front, we're going to plan it. So at a certain point, we're going to, and we need to separate you from your cadet. They've got things they need to do. They'll go with the cadet cadre. They'll go get their room. They'll go get a set, their PT gear, things like that. While they're doing that is the time we have set aside for you to go to these workshops with the commandant and the dean, and they'll be very, very beneficial for you. Let me ask the athletic director to cover something, and I'll explain why, how we handle and deal with our infirmary. And athletic director came up in sports a little different than being a coach. He came up from the trainer side of things. He is a certified trainer. He was on staff for the Houston Astros and has worked in sports medicine all of his professional career. So he stays very closely involved with our infirmary, taking care of not only our athletes, but our cadets. So Jose, would you explain our infirmary and what the cadets will need to do, how they can access it, turning in their medication, all of those things, please? Jose, you're muted.
I apologize for that. I was just testing everybody. So the infirmary is open 24/7 to take care of our cadets. We have a staff of registered nurses that are there the entire time, 24/7. While cadets are here, they're there. We also have regular visits by our school physician or by one of our med-level PA or nurse practitioner providers. So we can meet most of the care that the cadet needs. They have a morning sick call every morning. Right about the time that the cadet is done with breakfast, sick call will be open and cadets can go in there and take care of their minor needs. If a cadet is on long-term medication, those medications are typically stored at the infirmary and administered there. On matriculation day, you will be asked to provide an inventory of what medications a cadet has. We'll have to bring them in, and some of those will be turned into the infirmary. If there's a or medications or vitamins that don't have to be stored at the infirmary, you'll be informed there. They'll also be logged in the event that a cadet shows up in the infirmary. We'll know what other medications they may be on. But again, the infirmary is here 24/7. They have an excellent staff. We have relationships with both hospitals. We have 2 hospitals within 2 miles of the school. You can almost throw a rock from the baseball field and hit one of them. And so we have relationships with several medical providers. So any immediate need we may have, we can take care of here or refer off campus. We pride ourselves in having an excellent staff with great connections to the medical community here in Roswell. So you can rest assured that your cadet will be taken care of. We make every effort to make sure that any medical issues are taken care of, while maintaining, again, for those cadets that are minors, contact with the parent or the guardian that is of note, a record on the cadet's review. So again, it's excellent facility, outstanding staff. I spent about half of my career going over there every morning for sick call until I came to this other side of things. So I can't say enough good things. Your cadets are certainly in good hands with our medical staff. So, sir, back to you with that.
Thank you, Jose. Colonel Tate, one quick one. Needs you alibi here to pick up on. Explain our laundry service, how the cadets access are available, both dry cleaning and actual laundry service.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. As far as our laundry service, we have a laundry service here for both dry cleaning and washers and dryers. Bottom line is your cadets are paying for this service, this dry cleaning service. And not only dry cleaning, they'll launder all clothing. They'll launder all clothing that's turned in there. The hours are posted on our website. And let me see, I think with that. And then they're also posted for the regular the manual washers and dryers. And cadets are just not going to have a lot of time during the week to go over. It's very limited hours during the week. And so, if they use their time properly, and they're, and working with their cadet leaders and working with their TLAs, they just need to make the time to turn their laundry in, and they can pick it up in 48 hours or 2 days. And they really do a nice job. And as far as their uniforms, it looks very, very professional, very clean. And then their civilian clothes, the laundry's done for them. They're paying for it. Then they're not standing around the laundry room for 2 or 3 hours or whatever, on a Sunday afternoon. So urge your cadets to take advantage of the laundry facilities, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Another one I'll quickly answer is our mail service. We essentially have our own U.S. Post Office here on campus. Every student will be assigned a mailbox, and they receive mail just as they would at home. They check their mailbox every day. They can drop mail off to be mailed, even bulk mail. We can handle packages. We receive packages, boxes and things in the mail for the cadets. It comes right into our post office. So regular mail service, pretty much like you would receive at home, can be handled through our mail room here at NMMI. One of the other things that somebody has asked here that I want to really be serious about and talk about, and that's bullying and hazing. The answer is emphatically no. It is not tolerated in any way here. Not cyberbullying, not physical bullying, not hazing, not verbal. It is just simply not tolerated. We have an honor code. You will not lie, steal, cheat, or physically haze another person, period. And cadets are required to take that honor code seriously and sign an affidavit that essentially says, I will not do these things to another person, not just a cadet, another person while I'm here. We take it very, very seriously. We put that back onto the cadets themselves to report instances of bullying. Again, whether it's cyberbullying, physical bullying, verbal bullying, it's just not allowed. In today's society, it's just simply not a prudent or pertinent thing to do, and we will not allow it here at NMMI. We will counsel, we will try to rectify the situation. If it cannot be, it's subject to dismissal. And parents, I want you to feel comfortable about that. We just simply do not tolerate it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's one of the very first things the commandant will go through with the Corps cadets. As I said, he'll issue the blue book, the honor code, and they will take an oath that says, I will follow that honor code and will not do these things. So I hope that's comfort for everyone. The other thing is our security here that we haven't talked about. We have a real police department here. We have approximately 12 officers usually on duty, 6 full-time and 6 part-time, and they rotate the hours so that someone's here 24/7. These are all real police officers. They all have the authority to carry a gun. They all have arrest authority. We have a reciprocal agreement with the city of Roswell, and we essentially have the same authority as a Roswell police officer. We have now 287 security cameras around the post. Cadets, I can't look in your room. We're not going to spy on you. That's not the intention. It is for your security and your safety. This is a big post. It's almost 1/2 of a square mile, but we can see pretty much all areas of the post for your safety. And that's the intention. These cameras also now use artificial intelligence. If we get notice that someone has moved into the area that's on the criminal record, we can put a picture of that person in there. And if any of the cameras pick it up, our police officers know it. So parents here, I want you to know that to the extent we can, we provide the best safety and security that we can between our active police department, our cameras, our fencing, the things that we provide. We want you to feel as comfortable as we can possibly provide. Myself, the dean, and the commandant, we physically live on the campus with the cadets. So we appreciate that security as much as anybody. But I want you to feel comfortable that we're providing that level of security for your cadets while they're here. We've kept you about 52, 53 minutes. We try to keep this to an hour. I'm going to look just a minute, if you'll let me look at some of the questions that we've tried to presuppose would be asked, see if we've covered all of them. And we'll be watching the chat room over here to see if we've got all of the questions answered. Um, Let me go back to the commandant again. Here's one, I guess, for the commandant to answer. It says, what are some good care package items that we can send to our cadets?
Okay, thank you, General. Once again, well, with Amazon, basically, your students better than anyone. But once again, the non-perishable kind of things that students get, and at times, don't forget they probably have friends too, so you can put that party pack in there because it's always delightful to get something from home. But I think most importantly for the type of comfort items or maybe just some of the things that they would need, I think, as far as perishables or non-perishable type of foods, and then just ask them on what kind of supplies they might need, because just about everything else is pretty much provided here. So just what they would like to have and are authorized to have is also a key consideration there. So the things I talked about before are pretty much, and as far as care packages, that type of thing, I'm sure they all enjoy from time to time getting some type of new electronics, that type of thing, as far as videos and those types of things, movies, things like that. But that non-perishable type of food products, and then just day in and day out supplies, I think are probably some of the key items that I see cadets receiving, General.
Thanks, Commandant. Question or comment for the Dean. One of the programs we've implemented that's been very successful, Dean, would you talk about our summer study abroad programs?
Oh, yes, sir. I'd be glad to do that. We have a very robust program that we have faculty that love to take our students overseas. We have one that takes them to Germany, another one to Spain. We're starting a program that's going into Brazil as well. Thank you, our Brazilian friends. We appreciate you very much for that. And so just an opportunity for them to actually study abroad, learn, not only just cultural aspects of things, but also in some cases get credit for the work that they do. The costs are we try to keep those down to reasonable costs so that the students don't have to pay that much, or the parents. But boy, the opportunity to go into Europe or into South America is truly amazing. And our goal is to expand that even more as we go further down the road. We're talking about potentially Georgia or other countries that exist out there. So the sky's the limit for the future, but right now it's a pretty robust program. Sir.
Thank you. And I might add that those are for credit. Not only are they great summer programs, but they are set up to be college level for credit programs. Is that correct, Dean?
Yes, sir. They are for credit in that case. And the one in Brazil, which we're still working through, I think Camila's online here from Brazil. We can talk to her about how we can make that potentially for credit as well. So that's in the works.
Well, again, folks, we thank you for the time you spent with us this evening. We're close to that 1 hour mark. We don't want to burden you with asking you to remain on the line. I do want to tell you that please continue to communicate with us. We're pretty easy to get in touch with. Most of our emails are just our last name. Mine is grizzle@nmmi.edu, as most everyone on this call is. If you have questions, continue to send them to us. We will get the answers for you. We're almost there. We're just a few weeks away from when we'll see you in person. So we're going to sign off. We want to thank everyone for being on the call this evening. Thank you for all the questions. I've been following along. I think we've been successful in answering the majority of those. But if we haven't, please feel free to contact any of us directly or contact the folks that you've been working with in admissions or athletics, and we'll get the answers for you. So again, thank you so much for this past hour. We appreciate your time very much. We look forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks. Good evening. Thank you.